I see that recording started and we're welcoming the devotees who are here already on the dot of the hour. And we have Kumkum with us, and I can first, as we're preparing with, as we know, devotees coming in one by one, Paramananda Prabhu, big one, one of our senior devotee. Why senior devotee? Because dear, very dear to Gurudev and reciprocated all the way through. So Paramananda Prabhu with us, Kumkum Didi is with us, and we all know, and she knows, she's our mother devotee, mother of us all. The generations of Srila Prabhupada are still here. The generations of Guru Maharaj are still here. The generations of Gurudev are still here. There is much wealth in the world. Yes. And maybe I can just, as devotees are coming together, ask Kumkum, how did your reading go yesterday?
The yesterday that's going to be tomorrow for us?
Oh, is it? Oh, well, just as well I didn't tune in. My yesterday. Okay, I've got the wrong day there somewhere. I've got it in my diary a day early. Okay, all right, because it's Saturday, so I kept it at Saturday and I put the time in. Right. How do you predict the meeting will go, Kumkum? The reading will go?
I think because all of the people who are going to log on, for one thing, it may be many more than we were originally thinking, but 100% of them will be very kind and merciful and enlivened. And it's just for reading together. And we know the software works well. We know like Chintamani Didi was asking me, like she doesn't have the book, and then, oh yeah, I should have asked about that and tried to get books to people who don't have them, but we'll just bring it up on screen and scroll through for those who don't already have the book in print. So little things like that will work themselves out, but those are very small. Considering
we can give you the link, of course, for the book online. I'm sure you know where that is.
Yes.
They can read it right on the screen with them.
Yes.
I mean, I know at the beginning it kind of seems odd, but once you do it, you don't really think whether you're using a book or a small screen or a big screen, anything. You just get involved in the text.
Yes.
And I can say how I started to read. I mean, when I first saw devotees reading on a small screen, I just thought, oh, this is crazy. And, well, not crazy, but I just thought, oh, that's taking it to another level, as the expression goes, but not necessarily, that I would do that. I thought, oh my goodness. But who it was Shruta Shrava Prabhu, who became Vaishnava Maharaj later. But Shruta Shrava Prabhu, and we were on Gurudev's veranda together, means during Gurudev's later pastimes, then always we'd have two devotees with Gurudev, 24 hours a day. And so we also doing our shifts with different devotees, but I was with Shruta. And in the daytime, then during that time, Gurudev would sometimes be resting. So like these thick curtains would be drawn and it would be dark in the room. And you really couldn't read a book. And so, and also Gurudev did not like the computers, us typing away on the computers around him like that so much. But Shruta would sit there with the phone and would be reading. And whether it was light or dark, you can read the text. And then I'm there and I think, okay, I give it a try. And once I started to do it, then you do realize whether it's light or dark, the curtains are closed or open, you have your own little micro environment there where you can in fact read. And after that, we read a lot, of course, from the machines. Anyway, you give them the link, Kumkum Didi, and then they can join you. So we're 5 minutes in, and it's us. We're all here together to come back to basics. Maybe I frightened everybody else off because I said, oh, today we're going let us see whether we can recite the first 4 verses, not the Sanskrit, but the content of the first 4 verses. So yes, I probably scared everybody away. Oh dear. We shouldn't go into test mode, should we? It wasn't meant to be a test. It was meant to be, it's good for us. Let's try to do it.
A review, just a review.
A review. But
Maharaj.
really, constantly we see Upadeśāmṛta. I mean, constantly. We are hearing when we see the talks, we're reading when we read the books. It's not in one place or 2 places. It's the theme of our devotional life, is the guidance given in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, no doubt, but in Upadeśāmṛta, in a very concise way. Yes, Panishri Devi.
Yes, Maharaj, please read the chat.
Read the chat. The chat. Praneshwari Dasi to everyone. Kumkum Diri told me this and I was thrilled. What she said was, briefly in the 70s, there was a technology between telegrams and email called telex. Yes, we know telex. Devotees in NY typed the Maha Mantra to Prabhupada in LA. He watched and with no smile, finally said, "This is Maya." Devotees were devastated. Then he said, "And you are using her perfectly." Ha, ha. Thank you, Kumkum. Actually, what hope for a lot of the devotees, a lot of us today, if not for this internet facility. I mean, we are here fortunate, we're physically, as it were, with the devotees, but we know probably 95% of the devotees, they're at home, they're in their flats, they're doing so many things and not able to actually associate either live online or by seeing the recordings of Gurudev, of Guru Maharaj, recordings of also these chats and things that we do. That there are so many things, so many ways to keep in touch, but especially the recordings of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. But I know with the assistance of the devotees, it is necessary because we understand now so much is misheard. So it's wonderful to see the nature of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, but for the actual content of what is being said, with the devotees, it is very helpful. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Kumkum. And I remember that telex, that for sure, the telegram and then the telex.
I like to remember that pastime whenever some new technology is coming, like when we used to think if only the Mat had email, had internet, that seemed so far away. And we'd get those little blue typewritten letters or handwritten letters that were folded in thirds and sealed, and wait and wait and wait. And now email seems like old-fashioned.
And when email first came, devotees were writing and saying, is this really reaching Chaitanya Saraswat Mat in Navadip? And then we'd have to sort of write back and confirm, yes, Prabhu, this is Navadip. And then, I mean, devotees could not believe that email was in Navadip.
Yeah.
But if we go back, then even the history of email, in order to do email, we had the modem, we had the wires, and we had to open the wires that go to the telephone and take them out and then connect them to the box. And then we had to use a thing called Telnet, which is all by text. There's no window, which is, well, there's a window, but there's a window only with text, where you're giving commands. Maybe Kumkum knows those commands. They're called the I remember them, AT&T commands. And then you'd have to type in you know, the connection. And then the speed was very slow. And we'd go, and in Hari Charan Prabhu's room, we called it, it was the room under Guru Maharaj's quarters upstairs, the front veranda. That room was the telephone. We'd go in there, connect, and then download the emails, like one by one, through this text, purely text thing. And they would also be very slow to download. Then we take them back to the office and then prepare all the replies. And then in the afternoon or next morning, we go back, do the same thing. And then we send the replies patiently, and we get the new letters patiently. It was a bit of a drama. And then, even then, it would drop. And interestingly, I had devotees from ISKCON calling me up because they heard that somehow in Navadip, in Chaitanya Saraswati Math, they knew how to do the email without using the email clients, because in America, in Europe, everybody, they're using Eudora or Outlook or something, but those programs couldn't handle the slowness and crackliness of the Indian thing. So even I was having the senior devotees, I was happy to be of service in ISKCON, calling me up into the temple, and then they come through to me, and they're asking, how do you do this? We're all frantic for email. Then giving them instructions by telephone of how to do the AT&T commands, because you had to slow down the modem. You couldn't let the modem just seek in its own way for its highest speed. You had to physically slow it down. Anyway, this is Maya if it is not used for Krishna. So we'll come back to Srila Prabhupada saying, this is Maya. Then he said, and you are using her perfectly. I'm sure those devotees were. We tried. All right, anyway, we're here, we're in. And in the meantime, Nirupama Devidasi's joined us from probably the kitchen. Oh no, it's too early for the kitchen. You're chanting japa, it's 5:10 in the morning in Govinda land. And you are outside on an early morning. The sun did not come here yet. You can see it is dark. So your sun we shall get soon. And you already have the sun from Paramananda Prabhu and Thailand. From Thailand, from India, from the Middle East, now reached to Ukraine and coming our way. And Rukmini's phone, well, it's going to take a while for it to reach you, Rukmini, I'm sorry. It's many hours more. You'll have your night first and then your day. Your day will be our night. Not quite, not quite. Your day is also our day for a long time too. All right, so we've come together. We're 5 minutes in and a few seconds. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we frightened everyone away by saying we should try to memorize Upadeśāmṛtam. So are we going to ask anybody about Upadeśāmṛtam? No, I'm sorry.
Kitty Kadamba is offering Dandavats Maharaj. She's on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook, see. Okay, Dandavat. Happy to have you on Facebook, those who are on Facebook. I sometimes remember to put it on and sometimes not. Hare Krishna. So yes, also obeisances to those on Facebook, those who'll be seeing this later, and actually to all of the devotees, of course. And Braja Mohini Devi Dasi, very much welcome also to Braja Mohini Devi, joined us on the Zoom side, so we're able to interact too. Anyway, let us not leave aside our Upadeśāmṛtam. Dandavat! So where are you? In Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake.
Yes, Dandavat.
Okay, Dandavat, Jai, so welcome. Salt Lake City, welcome all the devotees there. Hare Krishna, you're happy to have Braja back with you.
We are happy as well. Very happy.
So we're just going to not a test, we're just going to go through those first 4 verses, which as Paramananda said is a bundle It comes in a bundle. These first 4 verses of the Upadeśāmṛtam of Srila Rupa Goswami. So everybody knows what are the 6 senses to control.
The mind, anger, and mind, anger. What's another one? The belly, the genitals, the tongue. Yes, mind, anger, the tongue, belly, genitals, and what's the last one?
The first one you didn't get, actually, not the last one. The first one, stay close to the mind and anger, stay close.
Speech.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, Jai. Well done, well done. So yes, so these are the 6 items. This is the very first guidance, and everywhere we get that this is what we should be doing, controlling our senses. Throughout the Vedas, those who are glorious, it is said, are those who control the senses, not those who let the senses run rampant, which is the glorious persons of Kali Yuga, but not of the civilized society. So a sober person who can tolerate the urges of speech, mind, and anger, of the tongue, belly, and genitals, then they are able to give instruction to the whole world. Pritiving sa shishyat. They can teach to the world. It's something like that you have to be properly practicing to be able to tell that to others or to communicate it to others. So just recap: our speech, mind, anger. Speech, mind, anger. And then tongue, belly, genitals, which in the commentary, the purports you see, these are in a straight line. And if we can control the tongue, then essentially everything is controlled. So our speech and our eating, everything through the eating, the tasting part, this hankering part. If we can control the tongue, then practically the stomach and the genitals are controlled. And if we can control our speech, our mind, and our anger, then we are coming into a harmonious arrangement with society. If we speak badly, we're going to get all sorts of bad reactions. If our mind goes everywhere, sooner or later from mind, it will manifest outwards. Things start from the subtle and come to the gross. And anger is, as Guru Maharaj said, nothing good ever comes out from anger, from expression of anger. All right, anyway, we're trying to just recap these. And this has given you plenty of time to say, to look up secretly what are the 6 unfavorable things that vinashyati will destroy our devotional progress. Shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. The 6 things, the shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Our devotion, bhakti, will spoil. So, the 6 things that will spoil our devotional life. Who would like to volunteer? Seva looking like she would like to volunteer.
I can try.
Please.
Okay, so it is overeating and over trying to get more money than is required, and then over endeavoring for mundane, something that's too hard to acquire. I don't know the exact word. And then
Yes.
the third one was I Oh yes, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. And then the fourth one was following or following the rules and regulations, but not to how it is in the scriptures. Or if I got that messed up, or not following the rules and regulations, but doing your own kind of thing, whimsically. something
Well,
like
yes, but also it can be following the rules and regulations given in the scriptures, because in some scriptures, there are like many formalities, but following like strictly the rules, but without the substance behind it, just following the rules strictly for the sake of following the rules rather than for devotional service.
Okay,
So what
yes.
is the actual wording? We can come to that soon, but that principle. Or neglecting the other side of it, as you said, or neglecting the rules and regulations, just acting whimsically without the guidance of the scripture. So we're in the middle path. For what is, yes.
Okay,
That's 4,
perfect.
then 5.
4, 5 was, I think, associating with people or people who are not interested in Krishna, or in Krishna. And then 6 was, I think, over endeavoring to or being greedy to get mundane achievements.
Okay, very good. Yes.
So,
And each of these, it is also good to go through slowly and in our minds when we are trying to remember this, which we should try to do, like you can say daily, but always we should try to remember these. In our minds, we should try to think of each one slowly, not only repeat them for the sake of I got them repeated, but like you are doing, that one by one, take one and think, 2, think 3, think 4, think like that. So very good. So those are the 6 items which will destroy our devotional service. So now I know Paramananda knows not only what they are, but he knows the Sanskrit behind them too. Oh, another one of our young mothers coming to look after us. Dandavat, Dandavat. We're so happy to be in Salt Lake City today too. Jai. Don't go. Oh, Jai Shri Gauranga Sundar ki Jai. Jai Shriman Mahaprabhu. Looking so nicely looked after, so well cared for. Beautiful, Lily. I don't know if you're speaking, but we can't hear you. We have to click the button.
I was just saying, Maharaj, that we have many flowers now in the garden, so we have a chance to offer so many things. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Maharaj. I just wanted to say hello.
Didi, Srileka Didi, it is never an interruption if you come and join in and give us some of your good association, which I think could be one of the 6 favorable items in devotional service.
It's only, I'm coming for your association. Dandavat, 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 dandavat.
Can we put you on the spot and ask you if you'd like to share with us the 6 favorable things for devotional service?
From the Upadeśāmṛta, you mean?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, so enthusiasm, utsahan, nishchaya dharyat, so steadiness, and conviction, right? Conviction, and tat karma, following the process of devotional life, following those things which are the, what we do in devotional practice, pravartana, giving up bad association, and always following the footsteps of the great devotees, right?
Well, yes, we have been learning it from Srila Prabhupada's book, but you are giving us directly the Utsahan Nishchaya Dharyat, Tat Tat Kama Pravartanat, Sangatyagat Shato Vrittehe. Then Shadbi, bhakti prasidyati.
I
But-
remember,
but-
sounds like proceed. Prasidyati sounds like proceed, so we're,
Okay, a nice way for us to remember. But how we have it in Srila Prabhupada's book is, number one is being enthusiastic, which is what you told us. And then number two is endeavoring with confidence. So sometimes we have these one words, the key words to help us.
yes.
So enthusiasm is number one in one word. Then confidence is number two.
Right.
Three is patience, being patient.
Dhira. Dharya.
Dhairyat.
Ah.
Then four is acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaranam, the 9 processes of devotional service. Then 5, as you said, abandoning all bad association. Well, bad association means non-devotee association. And 6, following in the footsteps of the great acharyas. These 6 principles in Srila Prabhupada's translation, these 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Yes.
Right. We've been reading Upadeśāmṛta every morning here now.
Very good.
To do that. It's so nourishing. I'm finding it so nourishing. So it's nice to hear what you're saying, Maharaj.
Well, this is the back to basics. So we're giving a very simple description of these, but there in Upadeśāmṛtam, published from the mat, it is a big book and it's got the commentaries inside and the insight into all of these things. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where he's also telling us, we've just had Ramananda Roy's disappearance day and this very famous go deeper, go deeper, go deeper throughout. But in the commentaries there you see, yes, we've got the description about confidence, enthusiasm, confidence, patience, etc. But then behind that, then there's so much which is being given. And so it is wonderful not only to know the verses, but to read Upadeśāmṛtam, the book. And it's the most comprehensive Upadeśāmṛtam that there is, and it's of our family line. So it is there for us.
Hi.
Wonderful. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 4. Who are we going to ask for number 4?
Oh, Paramananda Prabhu, I didn't see you. Dandavad. Again.
It's a sign. It's a sign that Paramananda Prabhu is going to tell us number 4. And actually, we were only going to do 1, 2, and 3. And it's Paramananda who said, but we have to also memorize 4 in this bundle. So he defined this as a bundle. So number 4, it's a sign, Paramananda Prabhu. You can tell us with commentary about number 4.
Dadati, pratigrihnati, guhyam apyati prichati, bhunte bhojayate chaiva, sadvidam pritulakshanam.
All right.
So the 6 loving devotional exchange between the devotees, relationship between the devotees, exchanges between the devotees, dadati, pratigrihnati, to give gifts and to receive gifts. And this is what we're doing every day while we're associating with each other, giving gifts and receiving gifts, and not just gifts packed very nicely with a little ribbon. You can also say that, but sharing your realizations, saying something from your heart, helping other devotees who are in need. These are all giving gifts, and also happily receiving gifts. I observe, unfortunately, sometimes I observe, remember Srila Gurudev's table in Calcutta?
I remember not being able to see it quite often.
Right, yeah, right, Maharaj, absolutely. Because you couldn't see a table. It was just covered with different things. And I witnessed how Gopal And oh, look who's there. Right. I'm sure he came from running, looking at your face and having those headphones around your neck. You look like you've been running.
Oh,
Did
we're
you?
painting the whole outside of the temple right now.
Okay, doing some physical activities, let's just say.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyhow, so we're back to the Gurudev's table in Calcutta. It was covered with different things. And one time I was there with Shuddha Shravan, and then Gopal, and Gurudev wasn't there. He was resting in his room. We're just waiting for him to appear. And Gopal, he's rearranging the table, making it more or less neat looking. It was impossible. And then Gurudev coming out, looking at the table. First thing he does, he looks at the table and calls, Gopal, come here. And then he just chastises him in Bengali. We're bewildered. What just happened? And then later on, we asked Gopal, what happened? Oh, Gurudev chastised me because I moved certain things on the table. And then Gurudev looking at us, we're talking to Gopal and said, he doesn't understand why I'm having all these things on the table. I know where each thing on the table is. And every time I'm looking at that thing, it's a gift from a devotee and reminds me about that devotee, brings wonderful memories to me. And this fool, he moved them around. So he kept on. Anyhow, so these are gifts that we're receiving. And not to reject. Another unfortunate things that I observe with our dear devotees sometimes. Somebody is giving a gift and that devotee says, well, how I'm going to use that? I don't need it. You want it? Okay, you take it. And it just breaks the heart of the devotees. You can do it later on. In fact, you just keep it. It came from a devotee with pure heart. Sincerely they're giving. Why would you reject something like right in front? Oh, somehow we have to become considerate, Maharaj. There must be some another shloka about devotees have to be considerate. And really, it's kind of included there. So the dati pratikrihnati, give gifts, receive gifts. Guhyam apyati prichati, to reveal your heart and to accept that revelation. And that is also very important. I remember meeting Shuddha Shravan for the first time ever in my life. Like 5 minutes after we introduced each other, he's asking, do you know what is most important in Krishna consciousness? I don't know, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following regulatory principles, so associating with the devotees. He said, yeah, but really, my good advice, a friend. To have a friend is very important. And then I realized, because only to a friend you can open your heart. You must trust that person to open your heart. And that person will receive that with reverence, humbly. And then they may reciprocate. And sometimes we don't need any answer. We just want somebody to hear something. And sometimes devotees are reciprocating. They're also revealing their hearts in return. And then we are accepting that. So these are loving relationships. This is what devotees do. Tushyanti chara manticha. This is what it is. They're opening their hearts. And what is in the heart of the devotee? Krishna. Service to Krishna, service to the Vaishnavas is always focused on that. So that's the Guhyama Pyati Prichati. And then Bhunte Bhojayate. I don't have to explain that one. To give prasadam and accept and honor prasadam. To feed the devotees and accept the food offered to the Lord. And that is like wherever you see, I mean, Maharaj Madhusudan Maharaj was saying when everybody would come to see Srila Guru Maharaj, that would happen. Srila Gurudev, first thing he will ask, Prabhu or Didi, have you had anything? Have you taken prasadam? And all the rest of the conversation will happen after you do. Or if there is none available, then he will ask his servant to give you a little bit of something. Then you're eating in front of Gurudev. And it's quite embarrassing sometimes, just chewing in front of Gurudev and you have to say something after that. But Gurudev is enjoying that. He likes to feed the devotees. He wants to see the devotees accepting prasadam. So here are the Sadvidhi, 6 types of Priti Lakshanam, loving relationship between the devotees.
Interesting, you remember the first time that you met Shuddha Shravan Prabhu, because I also remember the first time I met Shuddha Shravan Prabhu, and it's also connected with this verse, because my savor was, oh, there's a very important devotee coming, and he arrived in the afternoon, like later on. So there's a very important devotee coming. You must save prasadam for him, and when he comes, look after him. And he And so when he came, then first of all, put bags in the room like this, and then brought him for prasadam. At that time, this is Guru Maharaj's time, of course. I mean, Guru Maharaj is present with us. So it was very simple arrangement, and he's sitting on the floor with the mats, of course, outside what is now the boundary. It was a little different arrangement at that time. But then serving prasadam to Śrī Upadeśāmṛta Prabhu with another devotee who I'm not 100%, it could have been Krishna Mohan Prabhu from California, but he came with another devotee, but specifically Śrī Upadeśāmṛta we remember. And he was like the special devotee who's coming, must look after him nicely. And he was, my first impression, he was so humble.
He was, Maharaj.
Oh, he was, yes.
Like he used to say, I'm not afraid of anything and anyone in this world. But when I'm in the presence of this old man, but respectfully he's saying that, meaning Srila Gurudev, I am petrified. I am afraid to do something wrong. I'm always in the position of a humble servant. He can make me feel like that. But again, in a very positive way, he could expressing that in a humorous way, which is Śrī Upadeśāmṛta is being known for.
Oh, yes. Jai, so that's our bundle of 6.
And I remember taking prasadam both in Villa Govinda. So much loving, sitting with all the devotees for a very long breakfast. And also Paramananda Prabhu's house. I was talking about this just the other day, Prabhu. Taking prasadam, especially breakfast prasadam at your house. It stays with you in your heart, really. Yeah. Taking prasadam with the devotees. It's not like some other kind of thing. It's not like some meal that you liked or something, but it stays with you in your heart. You're making.
And some devotees, they also remind you about those activities. Yeah. Like every time I'm thinking of Keshavananda, he reminds me of all 6 actually. But Bhumte Bhojayate Sheva will come the first in his case.
For sure. Haribol.
And here in Italy, you're mentioning about taking prasadam, honoring prasadam in Villa Govinda. You know, there are customs in India and there are customs in the West. And in India, one thing is actually the situation, and this has come up again and again, that while taking prasadam is honoring prasadam, and it's not the chit-chat time, actually, in India, in Bengal, we're talking about it in particular. It's not the chit-chat, we're honoring prasadam, then everyone's finished, then come away, wash up their hands and go. And on that point also, South India, they have some sloka expression that says, after taking prasadam, you should finish and get up and wash, etc., before your hand goes dry. This is mentioned there. However, here in Italy, they definitely have a different system. And when I kind of just commented and things like this, they say, oh, that doesn't happen here. That won't happen here. Here, this is when we're all together, and there is definitely chat, but it's always devotional chat. It's not kind of off the wall things around the table. And then another thing is that even everyone's finished, and then we're thinking, oh, we'll get up, wash up the hands. Then they're, oh, in Italy, this doesn't work. The family stays together for hours after the meal. They're all together. So.
And another thing in the bread and the Maharaj, Nrsimha Prabhu made a joke about chit chat. He said that it's a riddle. He said, what is informal conversation between devotees? He said chit chat, because chit means divine, conversation. So chit, sat chit and so it's called chit chat.
Maharaj, we're also followers of Mahaprabhu. And if we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, what are the devotees doing while they're taking prasadam?
Yes, well, they're definitely.
Well, let's just take Advaita Acharya Nityananda. What are they doing?
And that's exactly where my mind was.
So naturally, we're following. We're in that kind of family line. We're not the Vidhi mark.
I want to be very naughty and jump in. It is my greatest fortune to see all of your absolutely auspicious, worshipable faces today. And I know on Ekadasi that it is always extra auspicious to hear whatever it is as I'm running back and forth. Kumkum, I am so happy to see your beautiful face. Please accept my dandavats. Madhusura Maharaj, you are effulgent and wonderful, and this is like the best day. It really is. I feel that way. Praneshwari, please accept my dandavats. I'm so happy to see you. Paramananda, of course, always. It's an honor and a highlight. And I know there's a few other people. Seva Rupa, are you Sundari's sister from Mexico City? Okay, from South Africa. Okay, I don't know you, but please accept my pranams. And there's Nirupama and a couple people, but I know I'm being naughty by interjecting on this wonderful kata, but please, I offer my obeisances to you all. Jai Ekadasi, and meditating on Prasadam Ekadasi is also some extra thing. Oh, and I suppose it's not Ekadasi in Thailand, but for us, it's still Ekadasi. Yeah, and in Italy, it's early. So anyway, and
my dandavats to you all as well.
And our red-clad brahmachari Ramsundar Prabhu, dandavat. We're proud of you. We're giving you our support, okay?
Thank you.
He just keeps on
Ramsundar,
it's too much.
The only way
how many people you convinced to become Krishna devotees?
How many people have you convinced to become Krishna devotees?
He's trying to convince me.
I'm trying to convince Purushottam to join me. That's all I can say. Spoiler.
Anyways, everything is happily going on. And today, actually, we did a Seva Saturday, and everyone has been scraping away at the exterior of the temple. It has never been painted on the outside since we've had since the building. So it's a big project, kind of headed up by Purushottam, and with the loving support of everyone. So it's just kind of
what color?
It's going to be a gold cream, kind of like a warm white. After much meditation, in case you're wondering.
The whole front looks like a patchwork quilt of colors. But this one was inspired by one of the rose bushes in the front that is a creamy golden color, and it's very beautiful. And I think the temple is going to look lovely.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah.
Fresh, clean, scraped, and prepped basically, because it's a little bit of an old building that we're in. So anyway.
Well, good to know, because our young temple leader, the brahmacharis have tendency to paint everything in saffron color.
No, he wasn't having that.
So he wasn't objecting.
I had that idea, but he's like, oh no.
I was leaning towards more of a green, but
there are many things that were taken into consideration, but we have found the peaceful path forward. And it's going to turn into Seva Sunday as well. So whatever guests will come.
Monday.
Yeah. it's the whole exterior, but I'm not kidding. It really does feel so auspicious as we're blasting and cleaning up to hear your voices and to hear Gurudev's illuminations on the affection for the devotees, right? That's what these buildings are. These, they're the safe houses for that affectionate world. So very auspicious and nice.
We sabotaged your class.
No, you didn't. You've embodied the class.
You highlighted.
Yeah, highlighted and embodied. And please, we're there with you right now. And please, to Sudarshan Prabhu, we have got so much regard and appreciation and affection. Sudarshan Prabhu, Nrsimha Chaitanya Prabhu. I better not start mentioning everybody, otherwise I'll miss somebody out. But
Nyasi Maharaj.
Oh, of course, Nyasi Maharaj. And we had Nrsimha Chaitanya Prabhu as like our guest speaker on one of the recent, maybe a month ago, on the Italian, because on Wednesdays they do an Italian Zoom. And he was like so natural and just get him started and he's great. I mean, we love him. He can really give nice Hari Katha, and he's still a lovable big bear.
True. It is true.
And by the way, if anybody wants to join our, it's okay, whatever day it is there, it's Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Italian time. Then just send a message to Munindra or to myself or something, and we can give you the Zoom link. It's actually the Italian program, but we've had, I mean, really wonderful programs just with the family, and you're the family, you know, just come and join in. And Jai Shri joins.
Yes.
Jai Shri and joins also. But who did we have? We had Prafulla Krishna Prabhu. I mean, and it was a classic super hour with Prafulla Krishna, and it went by like within a moment. And because he was there so much with Gurudev and his service and everything. I mean, really, it was very nice to see the gem of devotional service through the eyes of the devotees. And he brought up many things which, if we're not with each other, you know, they kind of remembered, they're there in the background, but they bring so many wonderful things to the foreground. And this week is Anandamoyi Devidasi, who now is living in Canada, but from Brazil. And we know that she's always a lively speaker, and she's a very good presenter of Krishna consciousness, by the way, and another hidden gem in our family. We have lots of gems in our family. And by the way, for all of you there in Salt Lake City who don't know how many gems there are, please know that you have some of the specialist gems right there in Salt Lake City. So please keep their association here from them. We don't want to embarrass anybody by naming those anybody present or but
we're living on your grace, Maharaj. And that's
living on Guru Maharaj and Gurudev's grace, and living really wherever we're reminded of their nature, their teaching, their family, the affectionate family of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
But anyway, as I mentioned, 7:30, which I think is a sensible time where you are. It is a sensible time where you are, but it's a working day. Wednesday, 7:30 Italy on Wednesday. You're welcome to join in because it's, anyway, as I mentioned, it's going to be this week. We have different guests different weeks. Sometimes we don't have any guests, and it's just like the Italian getting together, but it's happy. Another one of those kind of things all over the world, different gatherings come together. But Anandamoy this week, so you may be happy.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
It is actually kind of a miracle that despite technology being there, there is a feeling that happens every once in a while where we feel like we're with you all. I'm astonished by that. It's beautiful. It really is. It's like so beautiful to see devotees' faces and, just hear class live. We can listen to the recordings. The recordings are so nice. Jayananda.
Jayananda Prabhu came today, just yesterday, and he's here helping. He got thrown into tons and tons of seva today.
Yeah, I didn't know what this
Very
was going to
happily.
be a block party of seva.
You heard it was the Saturday Seva day and the Sunday Seva day, and Krishna automatically, like a magnet, drew you there. Very good.
Yeah, it's true.
This is the proper use of your car. Often you're driving your car when we see you. So now your car has brought you to the devotees.
Yes.
Thank you.
And actually, you would like to hear this, Maharaj. I have some of the smartest people in the world that want to focus on religion, dharma, and Krishna consciousness. And they were only trying to be vegans and trying to help the planet and the animals. And now they're saying, we got to go for the religious people because they're supposed to be ahimsa. They're supposed to love all the animals and the cows, especially. So we're going after, you're going to see a lot more people joining in, becoming devotees all of a sudden, I think.
Haribo.
Haribo.
And Maharaj and Parmananda, this is Frankie. And and he has moved into the temple very recently. And we just wanted to introduce him. He has also a best friend whose name is Ryan, who's also moved into the temple. So once again, the temple is overflowing with whoever Mahaprabhu is bringing, really.
So Frankie, and please also express to your friend Brian our support to you. It's definitely always quite a transition, a little difficult for quite a different life in a temple. But please always see the positive everywhere. You're in very good association, and they can really give you the best for your actual life. So we give you all encouragement, Frankie.
Thank you, Maharaj.
And by the way, just now talking about our, here's Krishna Priya Devi Dasi, Dandavad, look,
everybody.
our high power association here.
Happy to see everybody.
Yes, we're happy to see you as well.
And speaking of gifts, Krishna Priya Didi, when I was leaving Thailand, she gave me one, like a little blanket that was green and stripes. And I have it on my bed, Didi, and I think about you all the time because every time I go in my room, I see that blanket. And I'm so,
I'm so happy to hear.
And this is also another classic example of what Paramananda was saying, how when we see the gifts, we are reminded always of who gave the gift. It is part of the association, the loving association between the devotees. And also, don't forget that on our Italian program, here I am promoting the Italian program. It's okay, it's free. I don't have any shares in the Italian program. But we've also had Rai Kishori and Surashan Prabhu, and from around the world, Paramananda Prabhu, from around the world, different devotees. And and the team, Abhinava Sundar and Kelly, different Wednesdays, like different devotees, but not every Wednesday. And sometimes it's our own program, but this way, it's a happy gathering, but really not only for Italians. And the Italian part, we just listen to the Italian Hare Katha, and it is all very happy.
Right. Very beautiful.
And Nirupama Devi Dasi, she doesn't know English, she doesn't know Italian, but you see, she joins us week by week, little English she knows. And there she is. Oh, what's that? The Upadeśāmṛta. In Ruski, English, in English. And she's in Ukraine, in Govinda land in Ukraine, and always doing service. So happily, we're all sharing whatever the language is. And Nirupama, you've already met here with the devotees in Salt Lake City. So this is more of our wonderful family in the world. We must remember too that it's not only the devotees who are physically near us, all over the world. It is the family, the close family of devotees. Hare Krishna. All right. Well,
We don't have BO. We've been working all day. We're having such wonderful prasad. It's so pure. Hare Krishna.
Oh, yeah, they go.
well, I think we're getting a little bit of the embodiment of the 4 verses we've been talking about today. We were thinking we'll go on to the next verses, but not today. We have 5 minutes of basically what is our kind of scheduled time. And we do have Salt Lake City here. And Praneshwari Devi Dasi, we can ask you to give some reflection if you like. We've got our family here. We've all made some contribution today, and you have made contribution by bringing us Kumkum Didi's description here about the telnet and internet and telex. But Praneshwari Didi, you are meeting the devotees all the time. These 4 verses of Upadeśāmṛta, any little story or enlightenment for us to help us?
Just by seeing these beautiful faces, we realize that the 4 verses are here. This is the bundle in Salt Lake City, the bundle in South Africa, the bundle in San Jose, the bundle in the farm in Chiang Mai, in Italy, and where
Colombia.
Nirupama is.
And Rukmini in Colombia.
And Rukmini. No, she is from Colombia, but she's living here in Florida.
Oh, she's living in Florida. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
Her
But I
mom
always
is in Colombia.
associated with Colombia.
Her mom is in Colombia.
Is Tavan in Thailand coming to join us?
What I would like to share is that maybe in Salt Lake, they joined later, so they didn't get the message that Kumkum sent me that was so beautiful, and I felt so thrilled. She wrote, briefly in the 70s, there was a technology between telegrams and email called telex. Devotees in New York typed the Maha Mantra to Prabhupada in Los Angeles. He watched and with no smile, finally said, "This is Maya." Devotees were devastated. Then he said, "And you are using her perfectly." So that's what I wanted to share. So beautiful. Dandavat.
Dandavat. Very beautiful. Kumkum Didi, a few words, a few more words.
I'm really excited to see so many additional faces tonight, especially my friends in Salt Lake City. It's been too long. And I'm the only one here tonight, but sometimes when we have these, the other devotees will be here. And that color that you mentioned is also the one we're about to paint the exterior here too. And I think it's the same color. I also went all over the world with deciding, and this is what I've pretty much arrived at, thinking it's a temple. When people start to come back now because of the lockdown, it's been so long, but Daitya Krishna Prabhu will be coming and painting with his crew, and he'll do a first-class job. And I believe that will be the same color. So
we were kind of praying to Mahaprabhu, especially Sudarshan was really praying, what color do you want your temple? So, you know, all of these Mahaprabhu is coming from Mahaprabhu, from your Mahaprabhu. And so I guess maybe that was why.
That's amazing.
Definitely. I often think of how somehow or other you're situated in such a divine storehouse. That Mahaprabhu is infinitely kind.
He's so kind, he's so beautiful, and he has all of these devotees all over the world.
Jai.
And it's been so long since we've seen you as well, Kumkum, so the feeling is mutual.
So Kishori, you're never short of a word or two. Make us all extra turbocharge our Krishna consciousness in 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh, well, there's too many wonderful people. I've been thinking about this word, the gospel. It means the good news. And really, like, there is good news no matter what. There's always an exterior moving wave of energy and an interior moving wave of energy. But that good news is always there. And really, what are the sadhus coming for? They're coming to share the good news. And it really is a substantial anthem. And so that's so exciting, actually. It's so beyond what I could have ever done to deserve such a thing. Actually, it's so overwhelming. Like, I can't repay the debt no matter how many lifetimes I'm thinking about it, because it's that beautiful. Because we can't get satisfied. Everything else in the material world is a betrayal. It is. We're not taking it. We don't get to enjoy it. We can't exploit it. We can't manipulate it. Everything else is a betrayal. It's all passing through. So this world, the world that the sadhus are sharing with us, It's a touch to a reality that's actually living, that's longer than this little ephemeral, flashing kind of picture show that we get to be in. So what do you say to that? Like, you can't barely give your life to that. You can't say thank you for that. You can't offer your obeisances for that. You know, we're trying. And so then you start to think, oh, this idea of being a contributor is so fine, right? There's not 8,000 people on the altar. There's a very selected few, and they're contributors. But one day I hope I'm a contributor for real and not just a faker that wants to offer the, because we're thinking we're contributing, but everywhere we go, the devotees are just being kind to us and they're giving us more back, and we're thinking we're doing service, but they're really just giving us their heart and we can't really repay it. So, this sweet anthem of the positive reality is so wonderfully entrancing and exciting. And what can we possibly do but try and throw ourselves towards that? And I was just listening to a lecture of Guru Maharaj this morning, and he was talking, I'm sure you know the chapter, Maharaj, but I'll just share it again just because we can hear it so many times. But he said, what is a harmony? And then he told it back to the disciple, well, what do you think a harmony is? And then the disciple says, well, a harmony is kind of a musical term, that's like a symphony. And then Guru Maharaj replies, he says, yes, the symphony is under the one director. This is what a harmony is. So we're trying to adjust ourselves to that one director, and then every variety of spectrum can be accommodated. And, we can see if we just look for 2 seconds that the variety is extreme, but that's wonderful. And it reminded me of that quote from Guru Maharaj, we must learn how to live with variety. There's going to be illuminations that come from so many different devotees in a different way than we have. And if we can try to appreciate that variety coming from their heart, is so auspicious. So I hope that was my good 3 minutes.
We're all turbocharged, yes, and so important and so applicable for our ABC, our BBBC, that actually we have to be able to live in harmony with the whole variety, all the unity in diversity was another expression that we hear. Hare Krishna, with the one conductor.
Yes.
Shri Krishna, reality, the beautiful. And that conductor came as Mahaprabhu to distribute the highest things to the lowest and to everybody. We don't even have to think, am I lowest or highest or middle or anywhere? To everybody. He came to distribute that, and this is the first time ever around the world that this opportunity has come. And it's come now, we can say, from introduction to fully fledged by the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. Not only guidance, but by their infusion of Mahaprabhu's message, Rupa Goswami's message. Jai, this is our back to basics this week.
Yeah.
For the first 4 verses of Upadeśāmṛta in our heart, in our meditation, in our practice, and hearing and seeing these examples today, and harmony in the diversity, live with variety. Dear devotees, appreciating each of your presence, everybody present now, everybody who will see later, everyone who's on Facebook. I'm sorry I don't have my Facebook on today. So
Dandavats from Anukul Chandra Prabhu, and Dandavats from Anu Krishna Didi in Arizona.
Jai, Anu Krishna Didi in Arizona, and others who may see also presently. We're very happy to have you with us. And wishing you special, successful Seva days until next time when we meet very soon. And we're all here, one family together. Dandavat, the whole Salt Lake City team, those who are present, those who are not present, but who will come together for the program later on today and in the weekend. For the whole, every team in each part of the world to Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya, Evacha, Patitanam, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.
Jai Maharaj, Jai
Jai.
Shri Madhusudan Maharaj ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare
Bye.
Krishna. With your permission, I take your leave, but I can also, taking your leave, leave you together happily.
Hari Bol.
Thank you,
Govinda
Maharaj.
Govinda, Jai Gurudev,
Jai
Jai Guru
Jai.
Maharaj.